for including broadband funding in the funding proposal. While the $15 million for this year is a little bit short of what we'd like to see, it is certainly a very good start to be in the bill. Last year at this time, I think we were looking at 0, so we were very appreciative of that fact. You've heard a lot about the broadband issues tonight, and I am not a technology expert. I am not an engineering consultant. But there are a few provisions that we do want to bring some attention to. The first may seem a little bit odd for townships to be discussing, but that is the right of first refusal. We're not addressing that from the political debate that I think that provision has behind it, but just wanting to bring about the attention of unintended consequences. In our areas, our townships, we are probably the largest amount of unserved and underserved, no matter how you want to define those terms. They do talk with their local neighbors. Townships like to do local business. And so in all likelihood, if they are out there seeking and helping with grant efforts, it's because other local providers are in the region have not or will not be coming into to their areas. And so by having this provision as it's currently drafted, our concern is that more will be scared away from applying, and we will have the very true rural areas, the most segregated areas, if you will, from having any service, from having anybody even willing to try to apply for a grant for that region. And so as you have further conversations about that, we just wanted to keep that in mind, please, of the unintended consequences it may have in some of our smallest, most rural areas. We also have, like whatever definition is arrived at for unserved or underserved. Again, most of our folks will fall under that category, but we do think it'd be important to have some uniformity between the definitions and the goals. Right now, between the bill, the proposed amendment that I know will be coming up later tonight, and the goal setting, there's different categories that creates a lot of confusion as to are you really on or under, have you met the goals, not met the goals. And we want to make sure that we have consistency, because we also know that once the grant has been out there and infrastructure is in place, we're not likely to be able to come back and say, oh, gee, we didn't get quite what we needed or quite what we thought we were getting, so please give us some more. So we want to make sure that we have some consistency and the objectives are truly met at that point. We can have some ongoing discussions as to what exactly that proper speech should be, and I'll defer mainly to questions while I heard this evening. The House bill also has a number of carve-outs within that first $15 million. 6.5 is in carve-out, the rest will be available for general applications, which of course is even a smaller amount. Now, some of these carve-outs do have interest to us, particularly some of the fixed wireless communications are things that our members have been raising to us of late, saying that they are seeing that in their areas, and it's the first they've had anything of significant speed. And so we think there's definitely a reason to have some further conversations on that. But unless there is sufficient funding, when you start carving out and having less and less, except for specific people, it gets harder to meet the overall goals and objectives. So again, there are some that are attractive for conversation, but overall we'd rather have the general policies and criteria used to review a permit application or a grant application be what sets who should be qualified for funding. With that, I'll take the questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Representative Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two questions here. You say you represent the townships?
Correct.
Mr. Chair, and to the testifier, this right of first refusal, I've heard that and heard that and heard that tonight. I've heard nothing but people being uncomfortable with it. Do you have any suggestions on other than just deleting it? Because I don't think the chair, I have a sense that the chair really likes that, so that's probably not going to happen. But do you have any suggestions on how you could fix that? I mean, is there a penalty, or is there data privacy? Is there a dart you could throw at a wall that might fix that? Because it does seem like it kind of puts the big cable companies in charge rather than the small towns or the mid-sized towns. And again, I mean, you know, we're trying to help Greater Minnesota, but we're also apparently kind of leaning towards larger providers. So I'm trying to be really nice here, because I've been kind of crabby all night, and, you know, the pizza's starting to wear off, and slowing down, so, or I might be saving it for later. So do you have anything that you could suggest, or townships, or anybody out in the audience, how you can fix that, those lines about right of first refusal?
Representative Mahoney, I've seen you crabby, that's not crabby, we all know that, so, Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Chair, Representative Mahoney. I think some alternative approaches to be having as part of the application process any outreach effort that's been made to local and regional providers and the response provided on that. And if this does remain in the bill, the key is, as the earlier testifier provided, there has to be some means of enforcement. If the applicant is coming forward and wanting to work with us, the term has to turn down the application and the grant opportunity, because the existing regional providers, if they will do it. If they don't do it, there needs to be consequences, because we've just lost out on a very important opportunity at that point. So if it remains, there may be some better way of approaching how the language is assuring that the locals have been talked to. But at whatever point you say that's the local provider that meets this criteria, there needs to be something that holds them honest to the commitment at that point.
Representative Mahoney.
Mr. Chair, and to the testifier, and to any of the people that are doing this broadband tonight, you know, I've been a construction worker all my life, and one of the things that a construction company never wants to do is rebid after everyone has seen their bid, because that tells everyone exactly what your price is, and they can just go $1 less, or $1.25 less, or whatever. So, I mean, that right of first refusal, unless there's a severe penalty, or the large cable provider does not get the opportunity, or internet provider, I'm sorry, get the opportunity to see that bid. It just seems like it's stacking the deck against people. And Mr. Chair, it seems like you're just setting it up for these small towns to fail. Now, you've taken jobs, you've kind of screwed them on their broadband funding, and now you're setting them up to fail on their bids to actually get economic development, which is something I think you really want out of broadband. You know, and I've said it before about how, you know, Greater Minnesota is supposed to get a hand up from the Republicans, but it seems like you're stacking the deck against them. So, can somebody tell me how you at least make it an even playing field for Greater Minnesota, rather than just continue to stick, you know, screw them?
Representative Mahoney, as I said before, I'm happy to engage in debate on this bill as soon as we get through the public testimony portion of this. Certainly, you've made some statements that are not factual, and I'm happy to address those in the debate. But at this time, if you have a question for the testifier, please ask it. Otherwise, we'll defer that debate until that portion of our committee hearing.
Mr. Chair, to the testifier, do you have any suggestions on how you can hold the providers that might, the cable provider, the broadband providers accountable? Other than some penalty, some mythical penalty?
Mr. Chair, perhaps the penalty would be an amount equal to the grant forfeited at the time they were not able to move forward with the application. Good idea.
Representative Simonson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is for the testifier, and it's my understanding that you represent townships in Minnesota. And so I think that you're probably the testifier that represents the most rural of greater Minnesota. So this question is appropriate. And I'm sure that you followed the border-to-border broadband grant program since its inception. And my question has to do with, I think a lot of us agree that there's if we were to build out Minnesota border to border, a fully capable, dependable broadband system, we hear numbers thrown about that are in the multiple billions of dollars range. And here tonight we're talking about an investment of $15 million, which is certainly a tiny percentage of that. But I'm curious, from a rural township perspective, what is the correlation between the broadband border-to-border grant program and economic development?
That's fine.
And a follow-up, Mr. Chair, then I'll stop. But so that's the first question, and a follow-up would be, what is the most important thing, so that I understand as we go forward and try to put this together, what is the most important thing that we should invest $15 million or $50 million or $100 million in? Should it be into areas where we can get the most return on economic development, or should it be in areas where more individuals perhaps are unserved or underserved? I'm just curious your perspective from a township perspective on economic development.
Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Chairman, Representative, we represent 1,781 units of government across the state, the vast majority being in the very small to very rural areas. What's putting our town at an economic disadvantage isn't the large business opportunities. It's farmers needing to have internet as their equipment is driven more and more by GPS and similar technology. It's the rural schools needing to have it. The homework, as you heard earlier, can be conducted at home, back on the farm, rather than having to drive, maybe 40, 50 miles back into town to pick up a signal somewhere. It may be the basic grain elevators needing technology. It may be, as I was saying to somebody the other night, the rural doctor who's trying to run an operation out of their house, and I don't mean surgical operation, I mean the business side of things. They're running it as a local, provider, and they need to have the access to high speed in order to remain in that truly small rural community. Our folks are very used to driving long distances to get a lot of care, but the ability to have everybody staying in rural Minnesota depends a lot on the high speed. Think about the fact that if it's not out there and you're targeting areas that already have something, we're not opposed to that. Everybody needs to be growing and have upgraded. But if that's the only target, you'll see more and more of the rural flight into those communities, and lots and lots of people getting on stay on the farm, keeping that part of the state running.
Seeing no additional questions, thank you very much for your testimony.